Good evening, friends, to tonight's session. We're joined by Shekar Iyer ji. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Meeraji. Nice to be back.
Thank you. And so there's a sudden, strange news that Pakistan and now Iran are engaged in conflict, and Pakistan has now retaliated with strikes on military targets in Iran, and 9 were killed. So Pakistan is claiming that a number of terrorists were killed during the intelligence-based operations codenamed Marg-Bar Sarmachar in Iran. Now, Pakistan on Tuesday carried out strikes against terrorist hideouts in Iran a day after warning Tehran of serious consequences over its attack on the Balochi group Jaish al-Adl's headquarters in its territory. A number of terrorists were killed during the intelligence-based operation. Now, Iranian media reported that 9 people, including 4 children, were killed in the attack. So, what do you surmise of this, sir? Because we thought the Ukraine war had just subsided and things were getting okay, and suddenly the war is moving on to over to Asia.
Well, this is something that has been going on between Pakistan and Iran for some time. And recently, you saw that on the occasion of the death anniversary of that Revolutionary Guard general, top general, at that shrine,
Yes,
there was a bomb explosion and many people were killed, for which Iran blamed some separatists.
yes,
At that time, it was, first initial blame was on ISIS. But later people said, no, some of the extremist groups operating on the Pakistan border, rather Iranian border with Pakistan, that they could be operating from there. There was several speculation on that. But what is interesting is India's response. See, the Minister of External Affairs has very characterized this whole thing as, look, we are for zero tolerance for terrorism, and we respect the right to self defense. In a sense, we are indicating that we are with Iran in its effort to, you know, demolish terrorist camps operating out of Pakistan.
okay,
This is the problem which we have had. We have been saying that there is cross-border terrorism. Terrorist outfits are encouraged, and some of them are operating from the Pakistani soil. A
yeah,
similar charge that Iran has been making. And right now, Pakistan has problem with all the neighbors.
yes,
Iran, even Afghanistan, you know how they were pushing back people who they said had overstayed and people were pushed out. And many of those Afghan refugees had already obtained Pakistan passport
yes,
for a consideration, I suppose.
yeah,
So this whole region is now in a state of ferment. And we can see that Iranian problem. And incidentally, our foreign minister was there just a couple
mm,
of days ago in
mm,
Tehran, and there were very important discussions where, because our worry is that we were trying to tell Iranians to control the Houthi rebels who have
yes,
been attacking some of the ships
mm,
bringing crude to India,
yes,
and some of these ships may not be owned by, I mean, they may not be India registered, but these are definitely are part of the trade that's going on between West Asia and India and even beyond. So therefore, our purpose was that was the purpose of Jaishankar's visit, to impress upon Iran to see that the shipping lines are kept open, particularly the Red Sea lines are kept open, and
mm,
accordingly. But then this is a new development where Iran, I think there was a surprise strike on the on the death anniversary of the top general who was killed by US,
yeah,
if you remember, and he was considered as a person who was responsible for creating and backing groups like Hamas as
yes,
well as Hezbollah in Lebanon. Now that we are seeing that Palestinian the Gaza thing is still continuing; it has not ended, and both the humanitarian side as well as this. But then Iran must also realize that what Hillary Clinton once said: if you are going to nurture snakes in your backyard, it is not that they will just bite your neighbor; they'll finally get at you. So similar thing, both Iran and Pakistan are now facing. Now Balochistan particularly has been a region where things have been quite, I would say that there is lawlessness and
yes,
extreme groups are active, and Pakistani army has been indulging in crackdown. Some of the worst kinds of humanitarian crisis has been developing there, and then human rights violation also,
yeah,
particularly trying to completely crush the Palestinian resistance movement. India has given moral support to these movements because it feels that right from the creation of Pakistan, these groups have not been integrated. These ethnic groups have not been integrated into the Pakistani mainstream. And the only way they have been dealt with is by the military power of Pakistan.
Yeah. Also, the fact that Baloch is all very mineral rich and they are using all the resources but not giving any facilities to the Balochis.
Yes, it's a. I mean, in fact, people have been predicting that it's only a matter of few years when Pakistan will come apart. Actually,
Mm,
the way they have been dealing with their internal problems,
mm.
and also Pakistan is through a financial crisis as well
Yes.
as a political crisis. Now, general elections are due in Pakistan.
Mm.
So you can see that now this time the armies, the guy who has fallen off them. I mean, the fallen guy is now Imran Khan, and they have embraced of Nawaz Sharif again.
Mm.
So one can see there is a political instability, and there is definitely an economic crisis in Pakistan, and along with the fact that these parts of Pakistan in Balochistan are not actually effective control of Islamabad. So
Yes.
there are these extremist groups, and some of them are encouraged by Pakistan army to put pressure on Iran.
Yeah.
And again, it's back to that Shia Sunni thing we are seeing. But our worry is, that Iran should play a more positive role in the region, particularly has been backing the Houthi rebels in Yemen, and
Yes.
also, its support for Hamas
Mm.
and as well as Hezbollah. And that has, of course, with the course that Israel is, regardless of what the world opinion is, regardless of what the other countries are feeling or expressing at the United Nations, it is pursuing its goal of completely eliminating Hamas leadership and also looking at a military solution rather than any scope for a negotiated settlement of the Palestinian problem at this stage.
But do you think this sort of war can spread?
So the only problem is that this conflict, because everybody has been worrying about one particular thing, Miraji, which is
Mm.
that Iran and Israel should not get sucked into a direct conflict.
Yes.
Because if that conflict were to happen, that would really, the whole region would be in a
Spark a
new
whole.
conflagration. That's
Yes.
something which every country has been trying to prevent. India is also playing a positive role in that,
Mm.
because we have good relations with Iran. We also have good relations with Israel.
Mm.
So our diplomacy in that region is to somehow diffuse tension,
Mm.
and we have been on record saying that the only permanent and lasting solution to the Palestinian problem is to really make that formula, the two
Mm.
nation formula, take effect.
Mm.
And also look at the humanitarian side with so many people displaced
Mm.
in this weather, particularly such a cold weather there.
Mm.
So it's a humanitarian crisis on one side, but at the same time, the terrorism is actually our stand that there is zero tolerance for terrorism. We mean that because that is the same pursuit that we are in this pursuit of similar policy within our country also. We have seen how Jammu Kashmir has been frequently facing infiltration,
Yes.
and there is a move always afoot to somehow disturb peace and show that things are not all right. Though
Yes.
a lot of changes have happened in Jammu and Kashmir after
Mm.
370 was removed from our constitution.
Yeah. But do you think, see, I find it very strange that, see, Pakistan is almost bankrupt and they're still thinking that they can indulge in a sort of a war with Iran.
So this is the problem where it is the military leadership which is deciding things, and you do not know what kind of Western interests are at work. Even this problem with Iran, who are
Yes,
these ballistic
yes,
resistance?
absolutely. And that's a
I
very
mean,
true
what
point.
is the thing? Why is Pakistan encouraging them?
Mm.
Is it just to keep pressure on Iran?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Then a problem like Palestinian, you have Iran actually backing the Hamas.
Mm. Mm.
Now again, the Shia Sunni thing doesn't work there
Yeah.
because Hamas is a Sunni group. Of course, Hezbollah is a Shia group. So sometimes you find the conflicts are not just on Shia Sunni line,
Yes, yes.
and sometimes and there is a big effort going on to see that Saudis, and Iranians both try to work out a relationship where it is of mutual benefit, and that old period of attrition and the kind of trying attempt to dominate the
mm,
region. The efforts have been going on. There have been meetings between Iranian president and the Saudi leadership, but still the things are what one can see is, I mean, we one favorite word we used to say was non-state actors.
mm.
Right now, it is these Houthi rebels who appear to be the non-state actors, who are
Absolutely.
creating havoc. And then
Yeah.
this has forced India. This has led to India increasing its naval presence.
Mm.
Indian Navy ships are going to the rescue of any vessels which is coming under attack.
Yeah.
Americans have also bolstered their presence in the region
Mm.
because they have to protect those shipping lines which carry on trade between this region and Europe and America. So it's a very sensitive area, but at the same time, one didn't expect that
Yeah.
this is the moment when Iran and Pakistan would be at each other's throat.
Exactly. So now a lot of things happening in Ayodhya, and now Shankaracharya has explained that he will not attend the ceremony, and because it's not right to instill a pran pratishtha in the body without its head or eyes. This goes against our scriptures, he says. Hence, I'll not be going there because if I go there, people will say scriptures have been violated in front of me. Hence, we have raised the issue with responsible people, especially with members of the Ayodhya Trust, that the celebration should be done once a temple is fully constructed. Discussion has been going on. Now, with regards to this, spiritual guru Sri Sri reacted to this by saying that, Lord Ram himself established a shivling without a temple. He said that, listening to this, he said that, see, there are other provisions there where you can keep the building, the temple, after the prana pratishtha. At Rameshwara in Tamil Nadu, Lord Rama himself did prana pratishtha of a Shivalinga. That time there was no temple. He didn't have time to build a temple. He did prana pratishtha, and later the temple was built. Now, Shankaracharya's remark has sparked a new row, with the opposition questioning the government on why it was inaugurating the temple in such haste. So, what is the reason for the Shankaracharya not to just go along with align with all the other voices and just pray that everything goes right?
Meenaji, this whole Sakaracharya, this particular person
Yes,
whose status as Sakaracharya of Jyotir Peeth is a
yes,
disputed one. In fact, there is a court case pending in Supreme. I mean, in fact, there is a case pending in Supreme Court about his elevation as Sakaracharya of this particular Jyotir Mutt. And this looks like, I don't know, he has fallen prey to a ploy by the Congress,
yes,
and who the Congress party has used his statement, and a narrative was created that all four Sakaracharya mutts were against this,
mm,
which is not true, because this particular Sakaracharya did not get an invite for the temple
yes,
because his own status is under dispute. So
yes,
the temple trust had not issued an invite to this Avimukteshwara Ananda, who is
mm,
actually the Sakaracharya of Jyotirpeeth. Now, he has been giving interviews. He has been giving interviews against BJP, against Prime Minister Modi. I don't think any Shankaracharya would be indulging in that kind of political statements,
mm,
unless it has some plot. Because given his own disputed status, which is before the court,
yeah,
only last I think in October 22,
mm,
the government of India had gone before Supreme Court to say that on a petition filed by supporters of the Puri Sakaracharya, saying that manner in which he was chosen was not correct.
yes,
So there are claimants to that Madhadipadi's post.
mm,
But immediately what has happened is the Sringeri Acharyas, Swami Bharti Tirth, as well as your the Sakaracharya of Dwaraka Peeth,
yeah,
they have come out with statements saying that no, this is not true.
mm,
We did not. We have not. We are blessing this event. In
mm,
fact, we have asked all our devotees
mm,
to light diya during this period, also to do Ram Nama Japa,
mm,
so that let us get immersed in this, the great thing that is happening. After so many years, after 5 centuries, it's happening, and this is the time to immerse ourselves in bhakti for Ram, in
yes,
devotion for Lord Ram, so that
mm,
that gives some kind of a spiritual uplift to us. So they have made an appeal. They have issued denial. The other day, Dr. Gauri Shankar, who is the administrator of the Sringeri, but he was on television to clarify there is nothing like that. And also similarly, Swarupa, this uh, Shankaracharya of Dwaraka Peeth, he also issued a clear statement saying this is completely false. People who are doing this are opposed, actually to. Uh, uh, in fact, they are opposed to the opening of the Ram temple, and they are using the Shankaracharya to actually create this problem. Now, I want to read out a message that I got today, which
Yes.
is which is very very interesting. I'll just read out. It's a very interesting message.
Mm.
That explains. I mean, that will tell our viewers what exactly this. Why are Sankaracharya's name being invoked to make out as if there something is wrong with this inauguration,
Yes. Yes.
which is not true. See, there is a difference between Mahakumbhabhishekam, as we know in the south, and Prana Pratishtha.
Yes.
See, Mahakumbhabhishekam is when the whole under the all the agamas shastras which guide this Prana Pratishtha of temples. See, once the Garbhagriha is ready, you can do the Prana Pratishtha. That Kalasha Kumbhabhishek, that on the top of the main where the top of the sanctum sanctorum, you have what is called the Vimana.
Yes.
There, there are kalash kept on that with two bull horns, as most of the
Yeah.
South Indian temples you will notice. The the Nutana Kumbhabhisheka is done for that, and that is to energize when the whole structure is ready, which is
Yes.
different from the initial Prana Pratishtha. So everybody knows, and this particular temple is the whole rituals are being done under the Rama, Ramanadacharya sect people.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
Ramanujacharya, for our viewers, everybody knows he is a disciple of Ramanujacharya,
Yes.
the Vaishnavite saint. Now, unnecessary controversies. I would like to read this out. I think uh, because this particular somebody sent me this message
Yes.
to show how what exactly it is being, why it is being done. It's like this:
Yes.
people who don't believe in Ram are worried about who is getting credit. People who believe in destroying temples are worried about the exact location, because there has been controversy saying this is not coming up exactly where the masjid stood. Now, the entire 2.77 acres which was disputed has been handed over to trust.
Yes.
They have designed the whole temple on the basis of the whole structure of the temple. Now, it says people who believe in Jesus are worried about correct rituals.
Mm.
That is a reference to the Congress party.
Yes.
People who don't believe in God are worried about the correct muhurtam. And it ends, this message ends with saying, God, Modi has made everyone a Rabb. This is from a Twitter handle called Eminent Intellectual
Okay.
and Total.
Very nice one. Yeah.
So I'm just reading this out because it tries to show how people
Yeah.
who don't believe in
Hypocrisy.
the Advaita tradition or
Yes.
the Sankaracharya tradition or the Sankaracharya monastic order, they are worried about this. This is but it's all because of that one particular Swami Amamukteshwaranda who has said he did not get an invite because his status is under dispute.
Yes.
He is the one who started speaking on behalf. Even Puri Shankaracharya, who is known to be very conservative and very orthodox, sometimes has made controversies. He also said, "Who said we are opposed to it? We welcome it."
Yeah.
In fact, there is one more message I would like to read.
Yes.
Which is what it should be, which is also very important. Uh, Minaji, which is
Yeah.
this is also very important. You see,
Mm.
this is from an Advaitic group, study group. They say that look, see that we always tend to respect all the Sankaracharyas because we they are revered as Jagat Gurus, and that the Mahima in Adhyatmic realm far exceeds their importance in politics. So So the Jagat Gurus must continue fulfilling their duties as Pidadivadis, guide people towards jnana, and perform all hitkari karmas for the sake of Lok Samagra. Now, coming to the Ayodhya matter, whether they support or not, Jagat Gurus should tread lightly, at least people who are occupying that position,
Yeah.
because see, these are very deep religious, ritualistic matters, and there are different opinions,
Mm.
different schools. And this particular temple, I said, belongs to the this Ramanandacharya's, following. They have a different approach.
Mm.
And one more thing, this is not an ordinary project, Meeraji. This is, you
Mm.
see, temples are normally consecrated. I have
Yeah.
discussed this before. where from the concreted so that people draw power from the deity,
Yes.
the murti or the vigraha. And the correct word, even to call them idol is not correct. We should
Yeah.
say
Correct.
vigraha or murti, or the devata which is being brought there, the
Yeah.
energy is infused there, so that people go to the temple and observe the energy from that and re-energize themselves.
Yes.
That's why particularly in Kerala we know that men are not allowed to wear, they have to go bare chested
Yes.
so that they
Yes.
receive that energy.
Mm.
That practice is still strictly enforced in Kerala temples,
Yes.
because that is, but here is a different case. It is the people faith has led to creation of this temple, to the
Yes.
restoration of the temple. See, what is driving this whole thing is the devotional aspect, which is very unique.
Yes.
See, it's a drive by thousands of people across North India. I would say across India. There is a kind of fervor, a fever for Ramachandraji, for Ramaprabhu. I mean, this is, you can't believe it, you can't
Phenomenal. Yeah.
explain it, Veeraji. And when this is happening, because people are surging towards Ayodhya, and their emotions are tied to it, and that is energizing the temple. Sometimes things go up, and that is what how it has happened in our tradition. Sometimes it's more than ritualistic, it is the bhakti bhav. And
Yes.
today, whether howsoever agnostic we may be, we may not believe in anything, or we may say we are very modern, we don't believe in, we adopt a scientific, you can say all that, but you cannot explain the kind of fervor you are seeing, the kind of devotion you are seeing, the kind of emotional high that people are
Mm.
having, which is born out of devotion.
Yes. Absolutely.
And that has to be respected, and that is what is consecrating this temple.
Yes.
See, eventually, when all the ritualistic will be followed, even today, rituals have already started from January 16th. And Prime Minister, if you see, at least in the three appeals he has made, he has spoken about the devotion.
Mm.
He has said, no need to be aggressive on this, don't need to get confused about anything. Let us focus on Lord Ram. This is, as people have said, this is the return of Ram. Ram is actually returning to Ayodhya. This is how people are describing.
Yes.
And if you see television coverage, the devotees, what they are saying, there is a kind of festival atmosphere. And our tradition is to celebrate everything. We are a religion. There is no festival for mourning.
Mm.
We do not mourn anything. Other religions have particular day. They mourn crucifixion or they mourn other things.
Yes. Mm.
There is a Muharram and there is a Good Friday. But our religion, this Sanatan Dharma, everything is a celebration. We don't mourn. For us, everything, even we celebrate death, we celebrate life in all its aspects.
Yeah.
So therefore, this particular mood, I think some of the Shankaracharyas may have been misled into believing that this is not being followed, but it has been clarified by the temple trust several times. And I think what the Prime Minister has said, particularly, he says, look, this is a new moment in our awakening,
Mm.
awakening in our cultural consciousness,
Yes.
in our spiritual tradition. I think that has been, and Congress party, you are already seeing the confusion in the Congress party. Rahul Gandhi is now insisting that he will, his yatra is now is reaching Assam today after
Mm.
completing Manipur and Nagaland. Even though it is traveling through Uttar Pradesh, he has no plans to visit Ayodhya. He is
Mm.
not going to the temple. And by opening it, clear saying that, look, we consider this whole thing is hogwash. This is a BJP RSS thing. That inauguration is also, and he doesn't believe that all these our seers have decided on the muhurt, that Abhijit Muhurt, which is a very important day to for the
Pran
inauguration of the temple. He has said, no, no, this is completely BJP RSS show. It's all political event meant for elections. Therefore, we are not going. But then he has also realized that members of his of his own party are going.
Yes.
Uttar Pradesh Congress leaders who are shocked by the stand taken by Sonia Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge not to, accept the invite and to be there, they are going on their own. You saw
Mm.
Uttar Pradesh delegation.
Yes.
They went and did stan in Sarayu
Mm.
River, then had darshan of the Ram Lala at the old place before he's moved into the new place. And I mean, you are seeing that within the Congress party, there is a sense of dismay at this kind of decision which has been taken. In fact, I would say It is the Congress political consideration that has resulted in Sonia and Mallikarjun Kharge deciding not to go.
Yeah.
Because their logic seems to be like this, from what I gather from call leaders, that by going there, we are not going to get Hindu votes,
Hmm.
but by going there, we may lose Muslim votes,
Hmm. So that's it.
which is a very narrow view of
Hmm.
a very big event that is happening, and
Hmm.
it is happening after a Supreme Court judgment, and that is how this whole thing has happened. But still, you are finding that unnecessary political infusion has been done.
Yeah.
So, see, all parties must realize you cannot prevent credit to BJP and the RSS on this issue
Yes.
because they have led a movement.
Hmm.
See, right now they are not making political statements, but what is
Hmm.
happening is they are responding to criticism by other opposition leaders.
Hmm.
But what I am saying, Minaji, once the temple consecration is done,
Hmm.
then general elections are announced, say around March 10th.
Hmm.
Elections will take place between third week of April and say and conclude by May 23rd or 25th. Now, during the campaign, definitely the Ram temple will be a talking point because of what the opposition has done.
Hmm.
And that is a time when the Congress will realize the historical blunder it has committed.
Hmm.
Because they could have attended the function, then said, well, you are taking. See, if because the BJP's argument is if we wanted to completely dominate this whole show, we could have told this Ram Trust don't invite anybody, only Prime Minister be there. That
Hmm.
has not, they invited everybody. In fact, the invitation was a problem.
Hmm.
Miraji, it doesn't matter whether Echuri attends it or D. Raja
Hmm.
attends it. Communists are increasingly becoming irrelevant in the
Hmm.
the rest part of the country, excepting for Kerala. In Kerala also, the Marxists are not the traditional Marxists we know. That is something worrying even the hardcore Marxists of Kerala. They are seeing how much things have changed,
Hmm.
how the bourgeois culture has seeped into the communist behavior in Kerala. Communist leaders,
Yes. Hmm.
they ride they ride luxury cars. They have, I mean,
Travel
all good things
luxury.
of life. I mean, I
Yes.
mean, there's nothing to do with the communism that you and I have read in the schools and colleges.
Yes.
It is not
Yes.
that communism. So this is only a party level. It's a regional party of Kerala. That's all.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but the point is, Congress should not have been persuaded by these parties because Congress is a national party, and this is more and more leaders like
Hmm.
former Uttar Pradesh Congress chief
Hmm.
Nirmal Khatri. He says, "No, I have got invite. I will go." There is a Himachal minister Vikramaditya Singh, whose father was a Veerbhadra Singh, Himachal former Himachal CM. He says, "Look, I have got invite. I will go." In fact, they are all, and already, Meenaji, this may be a ground for a further split in Congress
Yes.
ranks.
In the Congress. Yes.
And even Milud Devra, you see, a very good friend of Rahul Gandhi. And they were known as the Blackberry friends.
Hmm. Hmm.
When the Blackberry, incidentally, a
Came out.
Canadian mobile company was very popular once upon a
Yeah.
time. I'm talking of more than 10, 15 years ago.
Yes. Yes.
And they had this BlackBerry messenger group, and Rahul Gandhi, Milind Devra, Sachin Pilot, Jyotiraditya Scindia, RPN Singh, they were supposed to be the BlackBerry buddies.
Hmm.
Now what has happened is Jyotiraditya Scindia is in BJP. Your Jatin Prasada is in BJP.
Hmm.
They were all BlackBerry buddies.
Yeah.
And Milind Devra is one leader whom I have heard Rahul used to relax with his company.
Hmm.
And these are the leaders who are and of course Sachin's pilot. I don't know why he's still keeping
Hmm.
company
Lingering
the
on.
Congress because he saw what happened in
Hmm.
Rajasthan. None of the promises made to him wherever, and now he has been shunted to look after Congress in Chhattisgarh.
Yes.
So you can see what has happened, and these leaders who have seen Rahul Gandhi in close quarters, they do not see a future for the Congress
Hmm.
under the current dispensation.
Yeah.
So when they
Absolutely.
have internal problems, they are talking about these things.
Yeah. So moving on to Maharashtra. Now, the Enforcement Directorate arrested Suraj Chavan, close aide of Shiv Sena, UBT leader Aditya Thackeray, in a money laundering case linked to alleged financial irregularities in awarding contracts for distribution of khichdi to migrants during the pandemic by the BMC. Yes. Now, the ED had called Chavan for statement at the Balad Estate Office on Wednesday and arrested him, saying he was not cooperating in the probe. The ED will produce him before the court on Thursday to seek his remand. Chavan is Shiv Sena UBT party secretary and core committee member of Yuva Sena. ED has claimed that the contractors appointed for distribution of khichdi to the poor and migrants during the pandemic and had cheated BMC with the help of civic officials by submitting inflated bills. It is alleged that Chavan had used his influence to get many of these contracts awarded to his select contractors. ED sources stated that Chavan was liaising between them and the BMC officials. The ED is also investigating some payments received by Chavan and his brother. Now, here, sir, what I feel is that somehow the noose is tightening around Aditya Thackeray. What are your comments, sir?
Minaji, this is another instance of
Mm.
even during the COVID period, when
Yes,
the people were suffering, these people
yes,
did not hesitate to make money out of, distress,
yes,
others' distress.
mm,
A similar case is going on in West Bengal,
yes.
where similarly the
Recruitment.
corruption in the public distribution system, already they
Yes,
have arrested a minister.
mm,
A former minister has been arrested, and in that case also, the raids have been going on. And
yes,
recently, an ED official was attacked in the same situation.
yes,
During the COVID period, whatever was meant for the poor people, because the Modi government had announced free supply of ration,
yes,
particularly the 5 kilograms of rice and wheat, and then 1 kilograms of pulses. All these were part of that package, so that the
yes,
poor people, for the sake of daily food, we don't have to starve. I mean,
yes,
that was the consideration. But these leaders did not hesitate to make money during this period. Obviously, this only goes to show that more such cases only point out the level of corruption that you saw under Mahavikas Agadi.
yes,
And similarly, is going on in West Bengal. You
mm,
are seeing under DMK in Tamil Nadu.
yes,
I mean, the corruption, has become such a, I would say, a hallmark of their rule, rather misrule.
yes,
Obviously, of course, Uddhav Thackeray's reaction is I expected it. Sharad Pawar says I expected it because elections are coming, which means as if they had a right to corruption and they had a right to the proceeds of that corruption and they have a right to use of that proceeds of the corruption for Lok Sabha elections. I mean, look at this
mm,
entitlement. I would call this entitlement.
mm,
I mean, they feel they are so entitled. They have a right to make money and they have a right to use that money. And particularly for elections, nobody should ask questions.
yes,
And I've said before, Minaji, if
mm,
it is a case of political vendetta, let it be.
yeah,
I welcome political vendetta. At least this way you'll put an end to corruption.
yes, exactly, exactly.
So that
Mm,
okay, well, if you find the BJP leaders are corrupt or ministers are corrupt, you come back to power, get the people's mandate, and go after them.
yes,
Instead of a cozy understanding where make hay while sun shines, and both make hay. The ruling ones make a lot of hay, and the other one, the those in the opposition make little hay. Because this is the kind of arrangement we have seen in many states, where some opposition leaders even thrive under the different dispensation.
mm,
But people, as far as people are concerned, none of these cases, whether it is Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Maharashtra, they are surprised by the names involved. That people are close to the Thackeray, the people are close to Aditya Thackeray, people are close to Sharad Pawar, people are close to Mamata Banerjee or Abhishek Banerjee, and people are close to MK Stalin. I mean, there is a pattern, and that pattern is worrisome because even for a moment, if you think if the so called India alliance were to come to power, I mean, in a hypothetical situation, you can see what will be their priorities. You will see a return of the scam era again. That's all.
mm,
So UPA, Binaji, I have always believed when Atalji's government, debated office, they did not get the mandate to come back to power in 2004. They left the economy in a very good shape. And that is why UPA 1 and UPA 2, they benefited. And
mm,
they could, launch several welfare schemes
yes,
because of the cushion of reserves
mm,
and the cushion of the good state
done
of
by other.
economy that
Yes,
Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government left behind.
mm,
Similarly, Similarly, today you are seeing how under Prime Minister Modi things are again looking up. We have gone through a very critical period of COVID. Prior to that, there was already an economic slowdown. And today, now we are picking up. The positives are more and more. And everybody, even the US Secretary of, Blinken has said today in the Davos that
Yes.
India is one spot where things are really looking up.
So yeah, so coming back to this point is that see, it seems like the noose is tightening around Aditya Thackeray's neck because not only is he involved in this, he's also involved in the. It seems to be involved in the SSR case, the Disha Salian case, and other cases. So apparently, I believe that Modi's government is slowly closing in on him to catch him like a an octopus on many corners.
Meenaji, I can say one thing with certainty, that all these investigations that have been started, they will go to a logical end.
Yes.
One can be very assured because Modi will not compromise on whether it's a murder or it's a huge economic offense at the cost of public exchequer. You are going to see definitely, howsoever mighty they may be,
Yeah.
or howsoever they may try to seek refuge under the garb of political vendetta. Those
Mm.
things are not going to help anyone.
Yes.
Therefore, I think investigations are progressing, and the fear of these leaders is Modi government will return with a renewed mandate, and these cases will pick up more vigor.
Yes.
And that is the worry of these people.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Shekhar. It's really interesting talking to you because you give us so much of a clear perspective on the things happening presently, and especially the attack of Pakistan on Iran. I mean, these are things that people are really interested in. So, thank you for this lovely session. Good night and Jai Hind.
Thank you, Minaji. Jai Hind.